When I'm training for professional competitions, men and women always ask me for advice. To women, I say push yourself harder than you ever have before and go beyond your comfort zone. Focus on your goals. Men, if I am willing to push myself to become Mr. Olympia in 2022, then I only have one thing to say to you. Bring your A game.
Here we go again.
What's good, YouTube? Feeling a little naked without my dog tags. Damn it. Anyway, I'm back with another one. This is uncomfortable, but I'm gonna push through. And you see the title put on there. It's very important. Actually, it's paramount that we as men in general escape NeverNeverLand. Now, we know the story about Peter Pan, or we've heard of it. Seeing how Peter Pan was leading the Lost Boys to retain their childish, I guess, nature and disposition. Refusing to grow up. Refusing to evolve. And taking pride in stagnant masculinity. And for far too long, since I've been here since 2007, for the most part, this is what we've seen. We have guys who are outright hypocrites. See, we're not going to play accountability dodgeball today because I had to talk to you brothers in what we're seeing in real time. Michael K. Williams is among many guys who are disappearing off the face of the earth in real time in front of us. Who's to say that couldn't be one of us within the next minute, the next hour, the next day or week? I'm bringing this video out because I had to take time and really think about what's really going on. And while too many guys are stuck in NeverNeverLand, i.e. Punani politics, you got guys out here doing internet mandingo fights. You got guys who are doing that internet idolatry, where they're worshiping individuals, where they're basically being these these internet parrots, squawking and chirping repetitive circular talking points and narratives. Where you got individuals who are so passionate about French braiding the ass hairs of their favorite either YouTuber, conflict creator, or individuals that they blindly worship to the fault where they're damn near wearing their pajamas with their names etched on them. While you're stuck in that blue pill haze, more or less. When you're stuck in that haze, you're not focused. You're not using your masculine light the way it's supposed to be intended. All the red pill conversation was about was really seeing reality for what it is and moving accordingly. What are you going to do with the truth when it's put right in front of your face with no sweetener, no additives, raw and uncut? What are you going to do? See, at one point in coming to this space, I was immersed in that red pill haze. And I'm addressing this to both veterans and civilians accordingly because it does play a part. In my time in the service, when I was always dismissive of my intuition, when I had mentors made available to me, I always swore I knew better. And see, a lot of times you will blow a lot of opportunities because you're a slave to your ego. We don't know it all. We as men do need mentors. We need guidance because when it comes to masculinity, it's about evolution. And when it comes to that evolution, you're going to need guides to put you in position to make that ascension upward as men. You got to make that climb because there's certain parts where I refer to our lives, especially as men, as chapters in the book, and we are the authors. There's going to be a part where A certain chapter ends and the other one begins. Now, when you're too busy picking the scabs of wounds of individuals that you've allowed, and I'll say that again, you allowed to do what they've done to you. This is in part because you were not taught, you were not groomed to nurture, understand, and master your spiritual necessity, your spiritual rooting. See, when you master this, when you get into understanding not just who you are and what you're meant to be and how you make a difference in this world, because if once you're gone or you don't live up to your fullest potential, the whole world is not what it's supposed to be. You become food. You become cannon fodder. You become a Mark, a Trick, a Jonathan, a target. See, when you come spiritually focused, that's where you start calibrating yourself. You start sharpening your eye, like, you know what? You start trusting your intuition. You definitely start trusting yourself. You start adding value to yourself, adding weight to your name. Getting to the point where you take pride in not just what you say, what you do, what you stand on, but what you're ready to leave when your time is up, when it's time for you to clock out, when you're into service as a man comes to fruition. This whole thing with NeverNeverLand is dangerous because this goes into the phrase I always say, never allow your comfort zone to become your coffin. And far too many times we are comfortable looking for a respective vice, both on and offline, to hide away from the reality, which is unsweetened and uncut. Let's be honest, and I'm telling you, I have the scar to prove it. This is reality. This is when I was at a tire warehouse, knee deep in a relationship, because I did not allow or take onus of abusing my spiritual rooting. I did not establish that for myself. So I allowed a ratchet to basically have buttons to tinker with. I became her plaything, where she would trigger me emotionally, psychologically, spiritually. And the thing is, when you're in that little NeverNeverLand haze, it is hellish. There is no peace. You can get no rest. You're always tired. You're always angry. And it gets to the point where either you get pushed to an aneurysm or you get pushed to your beyond your limits to where rationality escapes you. And you do more harm to other people, but more importantly to yourself. All because you did not root yourself here and here. What are you about? What are you on? What is worth fighting for when it comes to defining yourself? I'm telling you this man to man, brother to brother. You in the service or you're out here in these civilian streets. These are the important battlegrounds that you need to win. They're worth fighting for. And understand you're going to be tested. Because if you haven't been paying attention, you see how this world is really starting to sculpt itself, reveal itself. And if you're not empowered here and here, you're food, or worse. See, all that high value bullshit, all that is based on the external. Most of the time, depreciating assets for a far more depreciating asshole. Falsely professing value when he doesn't have anything here. He's bankrupt here and here. There are plenty of individuals who are well educated or have access to wealth. But some of us, we know they're heartless motherfuckers. They're cowardly, bitch made. Too busy online and offline popping their pussy via their wallet. Or just adding more validity to the adage, it takes a pussy to expose and control one. See, as men, it's good to sit there and discuss the things that either we've been through, that we encountered, but it's supposed to be in context to where, like, you know what? These are the mistakes I made. I take ownership of the pitfalls I intentionally went into because the bait was attractive, and I went for it. Yeah. Accountability dodgeball stops when we plant our feet. Like, you know what? I'm going to take a defensive stance. I'm going to be smarter here. I'm going to put more validity here and move accordingly. There's far too many people who want to run away from the work. And see, if you don't take care of this and this, you're going to continue to be used as incel income. And again, when I say incel income, you can still get access to sex. But see, when it comes to your masculinity, you become infertile in that sense. You'll be stuck in NeverNeverLand, both mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. See, it's on us as men. We have to grow the fuck up, untuck our nuts, and take command of our lives. See, a wise man let me know we're connected by design. We're supposed to impose environment. And let's be honest, this environment is all the way fucked up. So what good is it for us to don the mantle of men only to sit around in a sewing circle and piss and moan and piss on ourselves for the sheer entertainment of people who are allowed to make mockery of us when we need to make the needed changes within ourselves right here, right now? We are the captains of our ship, and far too many times we have to admit we have taken the sails out of our ship, tucked them downstairs, and want to sit on the front deck and piss them on during the storm. She's a Marine Corps veteran. I let it be known to myself before I got in. What I have to do is face this monster here. I knew going in I was going to go through 12 weeks of hell in boot camp. But see, I had a choice. Either face myself in order to improve myself, or I could have took my chances out here in these civilian streets with no direction, no plan, no program, no purpose. And I could have been another statistic that most people talk about in a very unflattering fashion. All in part because I refused to find masculine leadership and direction. There are some brothers that are my junior or my senior that know more than I do. And the thing is, when it comes to escaping NeverNeverLand, you gotta have an attentive ear. You gotta have a very open but discerning mind. You gotta have discipline when it comes to your tongue. You can't be out here like these ratchets. You ain't my daddy. Look, either your daddy was a piece of shit, either he was taken off the board early, whatever circumstances have you. We have to be honest with ourselves as men. So I can send a definite needed shout out to the OGs that I look up to. Dr. Spencer Holman. My OG, Chili Chill. You know, there's far too many of them to name. But those are two that stand out, that recent thinking, because I talked to them recently. But see, as men, again, you have to admit that we can be the clay, or it could be diamonds or whatever have you. There still have to be individual hands, educated hands, that had to help sculpt us into what we were meant to be, put us in the right position to use our masculine light to its most potency and effectiveness. Staying in NeverNeverLand is an admission of failure. Years ago, I used to find comfort in going head to head with these edgeless oracles, these bald-headed hoes, talking about, all this goofiness out here. But then life was starting to hit me with some heavy-handed blows. And the amazing thing is, Life it knows where to hit you for maximum effectiveness. Now, the thing is, if you claim to be red vitamin, whatever you want to call it, if you claim to be men of principles and purpose, what are you going to do when life repeatedly knocks the fucking wind out of you? Knocks you to your knees, whatever level, spiritually, financially, emotionally, whatever. How are you going to come back and stand up and defend yourself? Fix yourself and win. That's the eternal question that sits before us every time we wake up or any situation that's presented to us. What are you going to do when reality stands toe-to-toe to you? How are you going to answer the call? Are you going to man up or bitch up? That in closing, hey, I just want to sit there and chop it up with you guys. And I need for you to understand this. We need to be aware of not just the world around us, but the issues and problems that need our attention within us. We have put ourselves off far too long. We are not spiritually impaired mules of provision, not without a fight. This is where we take a stand, clear the fog out of our heads, worrying about this goofy bullshit that does not serve us any good, and mend ourselves. This is why you have brothers out here. It's like, look, we're extending a hand. If you're fucked up and looking to admit it, confidentiality is key. We can chop it up. We can put each other on point. But you have to check yourself. You have to check the bitch within. And it's going to be a hard feeling. Because some of y'all love nursing yourselves on the titty of the bitch you see in the mirror. But that's the first bitch you have to check. We as men have to be back on point. Lead by example. Use a lot of discernment, mainly with ourselves. Because if you talk about being the head of the house, or the HNIC rather, you got to pay the cost to be the boss. It isn't just financial. That's part of it. You got to own this real estate here and here, because everybody's watching. This is the moment we take point. So Semper Fi to you, my fellow veterans out here. I'm going to get back on point. I just been taking care of things offline, but this is something that was really bothering me. We had to get back on point, because if you lose the war here and here, you are among the working dead, or worse. To all my civilian peers, hey, we got to take care of business. We're all in the same fight now. It's time to tool up and take care of business. I want to send a special shout out to the War Room. If anybody I would suggest subscribing to, check out the OG right there. Awesome content. No nonsense. He's unapologetic with the truth. I love his delivery like that. It's awesome. I send a shout out to that OG right there. L.A.R. movement, DC the truth. Oh, and before I go, do understand a lot of the solid content creators are not going to get a lot of attention, because, far too many of us want to be edutained when most of us are edutarded. We want to be so entertained so much to the point where we don't learn shit, but we end up becoming a lesson or a statistic that people can learn from or laugh at. And that shit has to stop. So I'll do my best to put their links in the description. Check them out. Real solid brothers out there. And that's what I prefer to do. See my brothers win. Across the board. If you're about the right, cool. I support you. You ain't shit, you can jump out a window, deep throw the fire hydrant, my opinion. But shout out to the A Game family. Much love to you guys. All my forward progressive peers, let's keep it pushing. And I got a lot of work to do, but I'm gonna keep pushing the content out. I'm gonna get better with this the presentation, because I've been kind of like half-assing it in a way, but can't make no more excuses. But I'll have some videos to come up. I gotta write my notes on there, but there's a lot to say, because we need to be aware and prepared, fellas. So Semper Fi. Peace.